DJ Mando, man. How you doing?
Doing great.
Welcome,
man.
sir. Welcome to the couch.
Lovely to be here.
Glad to have you. Excited to chat with you, bro.
Yes, sir.
You know, you're a really, to me, one of the best additions to our team as far as not only you one of our DJs, but you're like in the back house production, kind of building that whole thing, man. So,
sir.
man, how's it feel to be kind of living out your passion, DJing and being with Curate, bro?
I'm grateful for it all, honestly. It's, you know what I mean, it's life-changing, opens your eyes to so many more things, you know what I mean, allows me to see everything from different point of views, from not just a DJ point of view, from a back-of-the-house point of view, you know what I mean? It allows me to just better myself and want me to better myself, being around such a great group of people.
Yeah, and you get to see a lot of what goes into a Curate gig, which we'll get into. But to start off, man, I want to know, where the heck are you from, man? How did you get here in Florida, first off?
Listen,
where are you from?
First off, was born and raised in New York. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Queens, New York.
Queens, New York.
Jamaica.
Okay.
Lived in Long Island for a little bit. Moved here, Southwest Florida. Been here for about 11 years coming up. So
how you like the change from crazy, fast-paced New York to chill Florida?
It has its positives and its negatives, you know what I mean? But thankfully, a lot of people like to hate on Florida, but I say, you know, you just got to be able to adapt to their culture and really understand.
We have our own culture. Yeah. I like that.
And once you do that, you see it from a different point of view, and it's a vibe. I love it.
So Queens, New York, paint the picture for me here, man. Where you born in Queens, grew up in Queens. All right, what's the soundtrack to Mondo's life? Like, what are you listening to? What are your parents listening to that you remember growing up? Actually, you make it even more simpler. Like, who were like the first artists you can remember listening to growing up?
First artist, definitely some old school throwbacks. You know what I mean? Having a Puerto Rican mom.
Yeah.
You know, she threw me on all the good salsa, bachata, reggaeton, you know what I mean? Daddy Yankee, you know what I mean? All the good stuff. And now you got the new ones, you know, Bad Bunny popping out. So, and then even from a hip hop point of view, you know what I mean? The GOATs, you got Jay-Z, you know what I mean? Nas. One I've always loved, Eminem, even though he's not from New York, but you know what I mean? He's a holy grail. So definitely a lot of good culture and taste, especially being from New York. There's so many diversity, so many different cultures and ethnicities. It allowed you to really embrace it all.
Yeah. And so moving here, did you have like a different, when you moved to Florida, did you have a different sort of experience with music? Did you kind of open up to more music?
I did. I was very stubborn at first. I was very stubborn. I didn't want to listen to the Kodak or you know what I mean, all the hot down south Florida rappers, but within due time, I finally came around it, you know.
What about other genres? Did you get put on the other genres when you got here too?
You know, the Afro beats, you know what I mean? The very cultural vibe.
Because
I love it.
Being from New York, man, one of the things that happened was I went from my favorite rappers being Jay-Z and Nas, you know, right? And then moving to Florida, I came 2001, 3 months before 9/11, and I remember hearing getting on the radio and hearing this radio station called 99X, and they were playing like System of a Down and Linkin Park, and System of a Down and that grunge rock was like my transition into rap, because really, I don't know if you might be too young, but Linkin Park was pretty much rap in rock, and then the System of a Down was the same thing. So when I moved to Florida, I feel like my whole world opened up to different genres, and that changed my world. Do you feel like you got the same experience in a different way?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I definitely did, because if you asked me a few years ago, you know what I mean, who I would listen to or what I would go and spin, you know what I mean? It's a whole different catalog than what it is.
And now music, I feel like no one just listens to one genre, you know? Nah. I don't feel like that's a thing.
If you limit yourself to one genre, you're just setting yourself short, truly. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So what if for you, when you get a couple or you get a client that, what's your preference on like musical taste? Do you want them to have a wide range of music, or do you want them to be like really particular about what they like?
I love a wide variety, because it allows me to truly see what you guys like and what you guys really love vibing with, you know what I mean? And just being able for myself to just expand and give them different stuff and allow them to really and see how they embrace that. You know what I mean? That fulfills me inside, you know?
No, that's good. I like that you said it fulfills you. Because with us with Curate, man, like we as much as we want our couples and people to love and vibe with what we're playing and what we're doing, we want to vibe with them.
Always.
You know, we want to enjoy it.
It adds to the experience.
And I know you get a front row to that all the time where, you know, you look over and when I'm DJing, bro, I'm enjoying it. And if I'm not enjoying it, like, to me, then it becomes work.
Yeah.
Work to me is when you have to go out and do something and you're not enjoying it. You're not fully in the moment. So what about you? What about DJing fulfills you? Like, what about that is filling for you as a DJ, man?
Filling is, you know, going out and being able to interact with different people, you know what I mean, from all walks of life, and being able to sympathize and empathize with them. And, you know, whatever point of view, and being able to just expand and hear them out for what they like and seeing how they get different to stuff, you know what I mean? And it's a great vibe.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Music
and so, okay, man. So my question for you is, you know, you've been DJing for a number of years, and is there any sort of experience you've had at a wedding that you can just remember and go, yo, that was, because, you know, with Kara, we do a lot of weddings, you know, corporate, we do parties, but weddings is our major, is what we love. So from the, you know, this past year, the weddings you've done, man, like, is there any story that stands out to you that just is a good memory for you as far as enjoying what you're doing?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's been a lot, just going over and even if I'm not the one DJing, you know what I mean, being able to be that second point of eyes, and when I walk around, you know what I mean, and read the crowd a little bit some more, and they're coming up to me, oh my God, like, I love you guys are, you know what I mean, and we're bringing a whole different type of experience and an atmosphere to a wedding, you know what I mean, it's like as if being at a nightclub and bringing that to a luxury setting, and it's a different experience that unless you're really in it, you can't explain it or be able to get that experience.
That's crazy you said that, because I feel like that's the reality and the vision I've always wanted to create, is like, you know, these people go to clubs every week, or they go out to their favorite bar and there's a DJ there that they love, and it's time for them to get married, but like, that DJ doesn't do weddings, and so they can't get that guy. So what we're trying to do is take that club, bar, a night out, nightlife feeling and put it in a luxury, fancy, classy, tasteful wedding space. And that's hard to find, because you might get like someone who's really professional and really good at hosting weddings, but when it comes to the party, like, they might fall flat. You know, and then on the DJ side, like the nightlife side, they might be good DJs, but they're horrible at professionalism. And they don't have that customer service. So I feel like Curate, and you're like a good mixture of both, right? You can kind of do both.
So
right?
I appreciate that, because even too, being raised, you know what I mean, manners, you know what I mean, everything
Etiquette.
matters. All the little things matter. So I keep it in a point within myself and I still have that flip switch to be able to, you know what I mean, turn the party
when it's time to turn up,
really get with it.
It's a party, and you're using your energy in different ways. You're not just putting out one vibe at, you know, you're giving different flavors throughout the night. And so for you, what's your favorite like era of music to DJ to? Like, what's
truly
what's your bag, bro?
It would be like, I love 2000s R&B. Like, I'm a sucker for R&B.
Okay.
I love the stuff that hits the soul. You know what I mean? Because I know if I'm feeling it, I know you're feeling it, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's a lovely experience. I love it.
What do you feel like as you've grown to find your sort of lane or place in the world of this DJ world, what do you feel like is your unique thing you bring to the table for these couples, man?
I feel like definitely the transitions, because I'm gonna give you something that you didn't ask for, but something that you didn't know you needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I drop that next track in there, you know, you can hear it riding over the vocals, that beat, and they're like, you know, you can see them because they're feeling it, and you feel that energy rise, and I just know as a DJ, like, okay, this one's gonna hit them. You know what I mean? And then when it hits them, now they're going up all the way, and then it allows me to feed off that energy and just keep giving them the stuff they didn't know they needed.
You know, I feel like DJing is part giving people what they love, and then the other part of it is giving people what they forgot they loved or didn't know they loved.
For sure.
And there's a little part of it that's like, I'm going to educate you.
And it brings it back to a certain time, because, you know what I mean, if I think about it even for myself, musically, you know, there's certain songs we heard later or earlier in our years of life, you know what I mean? And when you hear that song, that next song comes on, it brings you back to a certain point in your life and you're like, dang, you know what I mean? And
It's sparking memories.
yeah, and it brings it all back. And now you go through a whole tunnel vision. You're like, yeah, like I love that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why music is like this spiritual, emotional experience because I'm taking you back through even traumatic. Like
Yeah,
music
everything.
triggers good and bad and ugly and everything because that your brain has these neural pathways to the music, man. And so you're a therapist. I know this is super cliche, but you're
I
bringing
see
you're
it for
you're
sure.
healing people through music,
For
man. And I think
sure.
that's really cool, bro.
And that's one of the biggest joys of it, being able to, you know what I mean, heal people and allow them to bring them back to their prime times of their life and allow them to
I love
enjoy a
that,
great
man.
experience.
So since we're so sentimental right now, a good question for you is what's your, you know, your inspiration, your reason for doing this thing called DJing, man? What's your why?
I feel like one of my biggest ones, I've always had a love for music since a young age. Thankfully, I was exposed to it at a very young age, a lot of different things. I've had a lot of OGs in my time, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
to allow me to, even though I might be relatively young compared to most of the other DJs that's been in the game for a while, which give them the utmost respect at all times. But it allows me to, at my age, to be able to jump back and really know, in a sense of, you know, what that kind of music did for them,
Mm.
you know, and it gives me a lot of fulfillment.
Yeah, to to affect people with your music is a big reason of what you get to do. You get to affect humans every weekend. You get to
Yeah.
actually see change in their life in a very small moment. Like I love when people are like, "Nah, man, you know," I go up to them, I go, "Hey, man, you gonna dance tonight? I'll see you on the dance floor."
Yeah.
And they go, "Nah, man, I don't really dance." And then later on at
They're out
11:30
there. Yeah.
p.m., their shirts off, like
Yeah.
they're lit. And I'm like, you know what? I probably brought out something in them that they haven't let out in a while,
Yeah.
like this energy and
And
this
to even
love.
go back to your question, so like really my why is, you know what I mean, my family.
Mm,
You know, I love my family and being able to do this, something I love, and also provide in a sense, way, shape, or form for them, you know, it gives me the greatest experience. You know, a big advocate for me would be my brother.
mm.
You know, he was the one
Rest in
that,
peace,
yeah,
by the way.
RIP.
Yeah.
He gave me my first set of DJ headphones and seeing the joy on his face when I was mixing or even when I very first started learning, you know what I mean? And that gave me a sense of peace inside because I was like, you know what I mean? Like they love me, they support me all the way. And you know what I mean? Me and him have shared a very tight musical background since a young age. He took me and when I was at 9 years old, I was making songs, you know what I mean? Recording, making my own music.
Yeah.
So, because he's always seen that in me, I've always had a very good arithmetic flow, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Being able to rap
Yeah.
and I've always been I love being able to control the music and the energy and being behind the scenes in the sense of form as also as being a DJ and being able to provide that. It's,
Yeah.
it's giving me joy every gig I go to, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what I think of and I dedicate that to him because I know he's up there watching, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, with a smile on his
It's like
face.
every time you go out and you throw a sick party, you just a part of you just feels like he's right there cheering you
Yeah,
on and
right next to me, like, hey,
dancing,
yeah,
rocking with you.
just like my assistant, just
Man,
in the
that's
cut
beautiful,
dancing, getting
man.
right.
Well, and I'll tell you this: any couple that gets to have you as their DJ, man, I personally feel um, invested and proud because you know you started with me,
Yeah,
and we were able to be a part of that beginning of that journey. So I'm just super proud of where you're at, man, and how much like I'm just so excited for our couples to get to experience it, what you bring to the table, man. So, Mano,
yes, sir,
thanks for chilling with me, man. I appreciate
all the
you, and
way,
see you guys on the dance floor. Thank you.
yes, sir.